This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
And this is Monster, my podcast.
And this is the Tarrasque.
There's a monster in my podcast.
Yeah.
Love this
Classic.
thing. Waiting forever for this. It's a headliner.
Yeah. The Death Claw is based on.
Mm-hmm.
Very good boy.
Incredibly deadly, incredibly big. I always forget because I have a death claw in my mind when I think of a Tarrasque. I forget that it is 50 foot tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real big. It's real deadly. In looking at it, so two things I noticed, like actually reading this entry in a detailed way. One, there's an error in the entry. Did you find that?
Oh gosh, I could swear that I did, but I can't recall exactly what it was.
At the end of it says creatures with a minus THAC0 can only be hit on a 1.
Yes, there we go.
What they mean is you can only miss on a 1.
Yeah.
Two, though, I was like, this thing is killable. Like, this is surprisingly killable. Like, it gets a lot of attacks, one of which does 5 to 50 damage. True.
Okay.
But its armor class is -3. Not that big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I've had Baldur's Gate parties that get that armor class. He has 300 hit points, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, but he only regenerates 1 hit point per round, and he only you can hit him. Right. And I'm just like, you take an army against this thing, and like they have some mechanics to make that not work because you automatically get scared.
Mm-hmm.
If you're,
less than 3 hit dice, so you have to be adventurers. You can't just be a militia, right?
But I was just like, man, I feel like I've had parties in Baldur's Gate 2 that could kill this thing, no problem.
Yeah, so, it seems like you would just have to Gulliver it, just pin it down. Use some kind of trap to make it so it could stand still.
Yeah. Or do you just like run up to it and hit it with a bunch of swords?
Ankle bite it. Yeah. You can't bring a caster into this unless they're a support caster. But wizards have plenty of ability. Like, oh, you're hasted now. Cool. Okay. Good.
Yeah, because it has reflective skin.
Yeah,
which isn't portrayed in the illustration at all.
No, so in the illustration, he's just it's kind of furry. He has kind of a furry aspect to him. But I was, again, because of the Deathclaw, picture them being more reptilian. It's an incredibly resilient hide that bounces spells off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And 1/6 of them will actually bounce right back at the person who casts them.
Yeah. So, I mean, you figure that out soon enough, right? And then you stop shooting him.
Right. But like that reflective skin is the thing that kind of makes the Tarrasque feel a little bit more like an unwinnable situation, right? It feels like a dick move that a designer of a video game would pull to make it so that a boss can't be beaten. Yeah,
I mean, a little bit. Like, I just think that like it's a weird, because there's so many things that can't be hit by except for extremely magical weapons, but it don't have any immunity to magic missile, right?
Yeah,
like the opposite of this ends up being true all the time in D&D.
Yeah.
Like, you fight a lich and it's like, well, magic missile is your best friend, because if it gets past spell resistance, it doesn't, it gets through damage reduction and stuff, and does a thing. So it's like the opposite of that, because a +1 weapon is pretty, I feel like that's almost a misprint. Like if this needed +5 weapons to hit, then we're talking. Then we're cooking with Tarrasques,
which is incredibly time consuming and requires a lot of dwarves.
And dwarves aren't going to do it for free.
No, because it takes 2 years. It takes 2 years for them to make a single shield.
2 years to make a shield go right. Yeah. It takes 2 years to make a shield that's out of sight. And I love how you just boil its skin until it turns into diamonds. It's so weird.
You boil it in acid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, D&D.
Fine. Yeah. I also like the detail. So this is like a bad kind of cryptid. There is only one known to exist. And the idea is that it just lays dormant for a very long time, will wake up, go on a tear for about a week. And that's the thing that we like in a D&D monster, right? Where just all of a sudden the entire countryside is destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like this thing that you have to endure, rather than like a threat. Like it's like a nature
thing,
which I like. Because some people, some civilizations in their records say it's a great reptilian punisher sent by the gods to end the world.
Same.
Like, yeah, like very good.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the Tarrasque.
Yeah.
I would like to pop a saddle on that bad boy, take him around, show people who's boss.
That would truly be an epic mount. Did you ever go fuck yourself so hard for saying something stupid that you felt, that like it's an unforgivable kind of thing, like there's no coming back, I
just like the twist, man. Brought to you by our backers at patreon.com/duckfeed.tv.